introduction or anything?
Nope.
There's not
Slow
like a
roll.
title screen?
Don't need it.
Nope. We're
Not
just
like
going. We just start
3
talking.
blip, 2 blip, 1 blip, and
This is
Hey,
Growing
there it
Pains
is.
with Nicholas Flores.
See, I gotta keep you guys around. This is gonna be the new intro.
we're hoping. we're
so-
giving you everything we got.
And so you all three, well, Cam's over here off camera, so you guys won't be able to see her, are from something different.
That's right.
How would you describe that?
it's indescribable and it's different every time. If you have expectations, we hope to break them, as well as the 4th, 5th, and 6th wall.
We broke 6 walls last time. Metaphorical walls.
Metaphorical
You got to
walls.
open your mind a little bit for something different. But
I was gonna say I'm only familiar with up to the 4th wall. So
Those-
5 and 6 I'm missing out on.
should have been there.
Yeah.
And you can't see them now. They're
See?
broken.
Oh, the invisible wall. We broke the sound wall. Barrier? Wall.
Both.
Yeah. How loud is this? Wait, is this...
That,
Can
so
you
you're-
like crank the volume so we can
Yeah.
break the sound barrier?
Yeah, we could do that. It might piss off some of the listeners, but
Well, let's skip it then.
Yeah. We can also speak in registers only dogs can hear. Drives them crazy.
Oh, wow.
and so you are the host of something different. Which would you call it a variety show? Would you call it
It's
adjacent
something
to
different.
that? Something different.
It's an interview show. It's moderately modeled after a late night talk show. There is always visual elements. And for the last show, I was going to let Shirley talk about what we did because Shirley was part of the Whatnots along with Cam. And they were able to do an act in the show and perform as their puppet characters. And I can tell you all about the second show, but let's get ourselves caught up. And Shirley was there and was a part of the show. Why don't you tell us about it?
Oh man, first one was a hit. Shay had a lot of fun. Let's see the guests. It was neat. First one, we had an artist, local artist who I'd seen all over the community, never talked to. It was really cool to kind of hear some of what she did. But let's see, we had some great live music going for part of it, and I think you plan to bring more of that in next show. But there was some breaking of walls. We broke the 4th wall. Everyone loves the 4th wall, and talked to the audience a little bit. But Shay brought in our puppets. We were up in the booth running tech. Me and my partner Cam sort of do puppets in the community locally, and got to perform with that and answer some questions. And it was cool. Shay's other host is also a puppeteer in the community, and we've done a few shows with him at some local venues at the Sanctuary. And so it's kind of like bringing the family together a little bit, getting everyone on stage like that. But yeah, and also really cool to see some people I'd always had in my periphery, but never really checked in on. So
And how does one become a puppeteer?
oh man, I'm still trying to find out on
Long
that.
road.
Yeah, it's real simple. I think it lives in all of us. A funny voice and a ratty sock will get you pretty far. We like to do videos. The performances are fun, but we do a lot of like animation, and that kind of brings in other elements too. The puppets are kind of like a jumping off point. But yeah, how does one become a puppeteer?
Just lucky, I guess.
Yeah, just lucky, I guess.
And so you guys are the puppeteering act in that. Have you just done 2 shows of something different? Has this been an ongoing thing?
Well, something different. I started in 2010, and then I restarted it when I came back to Arcata right before pandemic. And then I sort of had to I was gonna reboot it, but then I had to shut it down for 3 years. And then this was our first reboot of the reboot, post pandemic, post plague, something different show, and we have 4 shows planned so far, 4 monthly shows, and hopefully more. But for the next show, we have a similar format where it's just 4 different guests, and we interview each of them. We've got Orion Peterson Jones, who's doing music, and we have A-OK the Clown, who's going to he's an old friend of mine. He's from Willow Creek, Circus Nature, and he he's gonna do a little juggling act, maybe unicycling, something, I don't know. But then I'm gonna get to interview him about what he does, where he does his clowning shows, how he learned how to clown. Um, and then we've got Paul Patino, who's a former Arcata City Council member, and he's a friend of mine, my neighbor, and he's fun to talk to. He wears a nice hat, and so just a member of the community that we get to interview, and it's gonna be a wonderful show. We also have a award-winning belly dancer, Rachel Sanders, who's gonna come, and she's going to perform to live sitar, and she's going off to be like get an award or be a judge of a belly dance festival. I don't know where. Last time was a little bit of a rehearsal, but this time we're stepping it up, and we're gonna have a really fun show.
So really a little bit of everything goes up on stage. Because 'Cause I've also seen in some of your videos you have, like, comedy acts go up.
Yeah. Let's see. The first time we were rebooting, I made emphasis of female comedians in the community. Uh, Megan and Calvi were on multiple times, but I just to switch it up. It's such a male atmosphere at comedy clubs and in comedy in general. I like opened each show with a female comedian.
And so what's your layout? You bring a guest on, you interview them, and then they perform their act?
If you're expect to see that, I'm gonna plan something different. The name of the show.
Something different.
Yeah. So like we broke the fifth wall, right?
What are the 5th and 6th walls?
So
Because 'Cause I'm over here, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we made them up.
well, no, it's like the
All right.
fourth wall's
Engaging with the audience.
right,
Mhm.
and so the wall's in between you and the audience. Now the fifth wall is behind the audience, the light booth. It's
Oh.
there's like a wall between the back of the audience's head and the tech area. And so that's where the puppets were. So that's a fifth wall, right?
5.
5, and then
But
6.
yeah. So
Didn't tell you about
Bobby
the 6th
Burns
wall.
is Sean Powers' puppet, and so he was a puppeteer, just being in Bobby Burns the whole time until the very end, when we revealed that Sean Powers was Kevin Powers' brother. And so it became a family show, and we dragged him out from behind the puppet stage, which is sort of like a wall between the puppeteer and the audience. So that was our sixth wall.
You guys are adding metaphorical walls in with physical walls.
Right. Well, I mean, there's curtains that are, and like set pieces that are usually part of the walls in a theater. Right. That's where the fourth wall comes. I don't know. That theaters seem to be in people's garages these days. I
Yeah,
only
we've got
see.
curtains in here. Hopefully, we're not breaking any walls because
Well, we're
get a little awkward
breaking.
in here.
No,
We're
it's
breaking
something
the
different. So every time, yeah, we
Something
broke
different.
walls last show.
the social media podcast wall is
Yeah.
what we're tromping over right now.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And so your background specifically, you come from that circus performer realm, right?
Oh yeah, that one. But well,
Is that the hat that you feel most comfortable wearing, or what would you say?
I think I'm like a producer, director sort of guy, but for a long time I've done solo acts performing, and then I've toured with troops. But for this particular enterprise with the Something Different show, I'm really glad that you were able to bring me on your show so we can see your setup and see what it is to be in the big local podcast game.
This is nice.
Yeah, I don't know about the big game, but
Yeah.
definitely local podcast realm.
And then on Sunday, I went to the Outer Space. They have a little variety show that they sort of capture and stream and put together there in a little garage shaped area. And um, the theater that we were performing at, the Exit Theater, one of the guests at our last show was the producer and artistic director of the Exit Theater. It's at 890 on the plaza in Arcata, up above the mattress store on the second floor. And she was able to talk about upcoming gigs. I put a clip of it on the Something Different website. And Exit Theater is a very intimate theater. Only seats like 35, but um, I'm good friends with Cam here off the microphone. But I've worked with Cam in the Circus 5 years ago when I came back to Arcata, and I know that they're very adept at doing the tech and the lighting and stuff. So I approached Camille first to help me with the lights, and what's cool about the Exit Theater, beyond all that, is that they have this crazy video system. And so they just started doing shows or sort of newer to the Arcata Humboldt area, and that we get to, because it's a something different show, I'm sort of trying to use the space as much as I can in every way I can, and every way that we can think of doing it differently than it's been done before. We're gonna be able to use they have 3 moving cameras and stuff, but, Shirley has stepped up and learned the video system and also has experience doing it. So maybe you
Yeah.
could tell us about how awesome it is to work in this
Oh,
exit
Nick, it's
theater.
pretty cool setup. Spent a few years in local television, and they have functionality that we would have loved to have had. The ability to program camera movements and stuff. And I mean, it probably sounds pretty basic, but I don't know. My eyes are wide in there. And I think they're kind of built for streaming. I think we're excited to capture and then, like I said, edit, animate. Add all the cool stuff in. But yeah, a couple of cameras, a couple of mics, and I guess the Richard said it was like the 7th theater he set up. Not doing all the streaming and stuff, but still just kind of represents in my mind at least this legacy, this artistic legacy of 2 really cool theater heads.
And some pretty sweet technical equipment behind the scenes.
Absolutely. Yeah. They've spared nothing, a lot of attention to detail. And so it's a real cool space. Just sort of feels like it's waiting for something magical to happen. And I think we're trying to meet it where it's at. And I mean Shay does a pretty good job.
So are we on camera right now?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we're going. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Well, can I play? Oh, here?
No, that's not yours. That's yours.
This one. Oh, hey. Hi, mom.
So no one else is coming.
No, it's just
There's
us.
no audience.
No, it's just us.
Where's the?
Yeah.
All
This is
right.
different. There's no live audience. Well, Cam's our live audience today, but
What up, boo?
normally it's just the people in front of the cameras.
Well, this is fantastic. Hi out there, viewing audience. Are they like commenting and like, do we know how many are out there? How
Yeah.
does this work?
It's just streamed. It's basically like what
Y-
you guys do, except it's live streamed. But you don't really think about it once you get going. You're just,
It's
oh yeah,
very
it's,
comfortable.
it should be.
Yeah.
That's how I try to keep it very low key. Because otherwise you start thinking about the cameras and you start thinking about the mics, and it's like
Talking
people
to your
can,
mom.
yeah, people can spiral.
Well, all right. Well,
Speaking of which, I was gonna ask, the hammer is.
Yeah.
I've never had a guest bring a hammer into the studio.
well,
Are we breaking walls?
yeah, Brett.
I hope
Well,
we're not breaking
I
these
see a
walls.
wall to break right there. This is a wall to as many audience members as can possibly be viewing it, and they can come back later maybe and come view it. So hi there, future of what you said, growing pains, right?
Growing pains.
Yeah.
Oh, huh. Yeah. See, because just for the captive audience, I'm not sure exactly what he's doing here or why it's set up like this, and maybe he can explain it to us. So, Nick, how's this work? Why is this just supposed to be listened to, or are we supposed to be looking at it too?
It varies. I mean, people listen to it, they watch it. It's. Do you guys listen to podcasts? You consume podcasts?
I love podcasts.
Like, yeah, so you get it.
Totally.
It's like listening to a radio show. Except you
Okay.
can watch it if you want to, or you can just
well,
listen.
well, maybe you can like describe some things so that.
Wait, I'm still trying to figure out what the hammer situation is.
Yeah, we're getting to it. You gotta wait.
Oh, this is a slow build up.
Wow.
Wait, how you said an hour and a half, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have to go slow the whole time. We can play it out.
Okay.
There's a lot of tension around the hammer.
I know. See, it's a nice hammer.
Oh wow. Oh,
Okay,
they can
but-
actually see because I was gonna lie. It's huge.
So, all of you viewing audience out there, this is a rope. See, it's a rope. Now, for people that maybe can't see the camera here, I'm going to hand this over to our fine host here, Nick, if you guys don't mind.
I'm gonna hold the rope.
Yeah, just inspect the rope. Here we go. This is the sound of me tossing a rope to Nick. Okay. Now, so Nick is carefully inspecting this rope, making sure that there's no Velcro or
Nope.
snaps or anything
Just a
magical
rope.
about it.
Yeah.
It's just a rope, right?
Just a rope.
Okay. Now, give it back. Very good. Okay, so I'm gonna sort of like describe what I'm doing here. But if any of you are in the future
Yeah.
and have surpassed these growing pains of understanding what is going on here, I'm gonna show it to the camera while describing it. So I'm gonna tie a one-handed knot. Ready? That was the sound of a one-handed knot. Now, this is stage magic. It's just a series of knots on a rope. With accompanied by a cute story that should be moderately entertaining, but
Way to really sell it. I like the whole moderately entertaining part of that.
well, we don't need to use any TikTok video manipulation. There's not really a cut. This is all live to you, the viewing audience there. And we have Nick or the back of his head, side of his head, as a live viewer. So this isn't CGI. This is a real rope. You just inspected it, right? Okay, so you wake up in the morning, you tie your shoes in a bow like that.
I try.
And then you get home at the end of the night, you untie the bow. Get up the next day and you tie your shoes in a bow again. But you see, this day is different because you get one end caught through that loop, and then you get the other end caught through this loop. And when you get home at the end of the second night, it gets tied in a knot. See? So you wrap it around your hand, call upon the spirits, Buddha, Jesus, Gandhi, Elvis, whatever kind of spirits you like. You take the knot, you pull it to the end of the rope, bounce to the ground, catch it, put it in your pocket, save it for later. Magic. Pop whiz. For you guys out there. Oh, the hammer, right. Okay. I got another thing in here. You want to inspect the hammer, make sure that it's a solid
I
hammer.
think it's a hammer.
No tricks.
That's a
no
trick
gimmicks,
hammer.
No wires. No hiding
Feels like a hammer.
spaces.
Okay.
No collapsible areas. No mirrors. Okay. Like peas and carrots. We have the hammer. And I brought something real special with me. That's a nail. The 20-penny nail. Anyone who the carpenter out there. Do you want to inspect the nail?
Should I? Yeah.
Okay. All right, we got it. We got the blocking. Sorry, our blocking.
Yep.
Okay. You see all that red stuff on there?
The rust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's blood. No,
That's
just
how this
kidding,
trick goes.
It's rust.
Poop.
But it still makes it more dangerous. So, brought one more thing with me today, and that's my nose. And I'm not sure if this is impressive anymore. I learned this in Coney Island. This is a Coney Island sideshow trick called the human blockhead. But at this point, everyone's had like a cotton swab stuck up their nostril, right? And so, I mean, is this still impressive? The human blockhead? I mean,
I don't even know. I don't know what's happening.
With COVID,
Nick.
everyone's sticking a swab in your nose all the time, right?
You know?
So it's
Okay.
not special anymore. But so hopefully I can impress you guys out there in the viewing audience. But look, real nail, real hammer, real nose.
You can't buy a nose that good.
No rhinoplasty here. All right, here we go. Driving a nail. It's gonna go about that far in.
Oh, you
All right.
didn't tell me about this.
Driving a nail into my
Okay,
head.
can't.
But I mean, is this still impressive? It's the COVID era.
I don't know. It depends on how this is gonna go.
All right. Here we go. Driving.
Pass
Wait,
it
hang
off.
on. Let me lube up the nail. Clear out the passageway.
What a gentleman.
All right. Here we go. Driving a nail into my nose. Ta-da!
It's definitely in his nose.
All right. So
Fuck.
I mean, but I mean, like everyone's had that done with the.
Yeah, but I don't think. Yeah, with a cotton swab, but with a nail.
It's just a little bit less soft. I guess they don't go in as far, huh? So it goes in this far.
Now, did you just
Ta-da!
decide to do that one night, or did you see somebody else do that and thought this feels right?
You went to Coney Island, didn't you?
I have certificates from 2 sideshow schools. After in 2000, after my freshman year at what was then Humboldt State University, I went to a Sideshow 101 class at San Francisco School of the Circus Arts. Learned how to breathe fire, walk on glass, drive a nail in my nose, other things.
And are those just the staples that they teach in those schools? Do they update their courses to more modern thing? How does that work when is that a clown school? That's what I think of when I hear a clown school. Is that what you would say that is? Or just a circus performing school?
I
You
assume
wanna
that
go first?
I just assume, yeah, 'cause she's got a lot more to say. I assume that clowning and sideshow are very different. Like I love clowning, and I don't know anything
Completely
about
different
this
thing.
shit at all.
So the San Francisco School of the Circus Arts is now the San Francisco Circus Center. It's down by Kezar Stadium, near Haight Street in San Francisco, and it was started by the Pickle Family Circus. And one of the founders directed me in a Commedia dell'arte show when I was in high school. I grew up near San Francisco, and so they started this school, and before they even started, I was watching the Pickle Family Circus because they were performing in the area, and I sort of like went back and followed up by taking Chinese acrobatics and then this sideshow 101 class. But that was 23 years ago. So in about 2010, I went to Coney Island Sideshow School. It's like a week-long certificates uh, program, and there's a couple acts that I wanted to catch up on, like the Electric Girl act. I hadn't really figured out how to work the Violet Ray wand yet, so figured that one out, and then I needed to re-practice sword swallowing, and I caught my face on fire, breathing fire, so I wanna, like, get some more confidence
Might need
breathing
another round
fire.
at that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm better now. But, yeah, that was 13. So this is all along growing pains.
Yeah, different luckily my face is not getting caught on fire doing this. I don't know if
Yeah.
I have what it takes for that.
I've never had an accident blowing fire.
You blow fire too. So do
No,
you
I
guys
don't.
Okay.
Damn it, Nick.
I missed the bit. I missed it.
Yeah,
I
that's
get it. I
alright.
missed it at the time. Well, because you guys actually one of you blows fire,
I did I blew fire last
physical fire.
weekend at Arts Alive in Eureka, at the Mendelssohn, um, art area. Performed with Bella Vita Fire Company on Saturday night.
But so when you go to school for that, are you picking what tricks or techniques you wanna learn? Is it just a course where you have to go through all of them, and then you kinda find what one speaks to you? How does that all work out?
Well, both times I went, there's only about 10 people in the class. So, I guess you have to be a weirdo to be interested in the first place, but it's not like we all learned everything because there wasn't that many of us. And then there's one, the first one was 9 weeks, all once a week during the summer. And then the one in Coney Island was like 1 week or 9 days, and learned something new every day.
It's an interesting set of skills to pick up.
Uh, well, there's a lot of history to it, and that's what I was the most interested in back. Um, there used to be these things called books that you would read. It was actually like a physical thing, like pages that you would flip. I don't know if you kids just read on your phone now or how this. I mean, is there gonna be subtitles on this podcast? Is it there gonna be
Not
words?
live. Not
Not
live.
live. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. So in the library, uh, that's a place where you can check out books. It's like how we used to learn stuff
Hmm.
before. I
I
guess
think
now you listen to a podcast, huh, to
Yeah,
learn
I think
stuff.
some people still read. I think it's out there.
Well, but like reading a book is different than being literate. Like you can read just on your phone and never pick up a book.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm
Uh,
gonna
I,
do.
anyways,
Books are heavy.
the anything that was unique. I was a theater major when I came to Humboldt State, and I was majoring in lighting design, but I just learned how to juggle. So I read every book on the circus, and they're all like outdated, talking about like Ringling Brothers and like Dust Bowl Circus and turn of the century, Golden Age Circus. So I learned all that stuff, but all the new stuff with Cirque du Soleil and Neo Circus, that's like sort of on the podcast realm where it's like there's no reason to publish a book about it because you could just put it on a podcast.
Well, and sometimes it's easier to learn if you're watching somebody do the thing than if you're reading about how to do it.
Yeah, the sideshow stuff is not, you don't really want to practice it much, is like have endurance and understand the science of it because, you don't want to swallow a sword over and over and over again because you could hurt yourself any one time that you do it. And in the sideshow, you'd be doing it all day, and people chip their teeth, and any problem could happen when you're breathing fire. You could catch yourself, anyone else. There's a lot of, it's more dangerous than the finesse of dancing or juggling.
So when you're specifically for say sword swallowing, when you're doing that, how are you picking up that skill? Are you watching somebody do it and they're walking you through the technique? Are you just reading about it? How does that work out?
Well, I went to the source. I went to Coney Island and met sword swallowers and like paid money to get a certificate of people that were professional, showing me step 1 to step 10 of how to do this. And I learned, 10 years before in another like intimate with a teacher situation. And then I would suggest not trying most of the things that you see on a podcast these days because most of them are fake and you could just use a camera to make it look like a sword is being swallowed. And why risk the harm if you can just fake it on TikTok?
Does that bother you guys that you can kind of fake it more now with technology, that you have all these advantages where you don't actually have to learn the skills? Just make it seem like you know how to do it?
D- you guys, have you, if you're listening and watching here, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just trying to do a podcast and talk about what I'm doing. I'm not exactly sure if like I'm supposed to be acting or rehearsing a line or doing my act, but this is for you guys. I mean, you're the host, but like, how am I supposed to interact
No,
with the audience?
just
They're
with
the
me.
ones that I want to talk to.
The audience is gone. There's no audience.
See,
It's
I
just the
don't
four
like
of us in this room.
yeah, I
You're a
love the
performer.
Nick's
audience.
You want the
okay.
audience.
Yeah.
Nick's okay.
All right,
You
all
could,
right.
Nick's our audience, man.
Okay. Well, I
Talky.
miss
He's
them.
talkative.
I miss the
But,
audience.
Do you struggle not being in front of the audience? Is that where you feel most comfortable? Is in front of a crowd?
Do you like
Uh,
attention, Shay?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think that it's just a different dynamic, and and the Something Different show. When I started in 2010, I was working with a program through the Ink people, like a youth outreach video production team, and got them to do videotape it from 3 different angles and edit it together. And I was sort of try and learn how to work with video. But back then, I believe the camera still had like VHS tapes inserted to the actual device. And so I don't know. In the past 10 years, things have like really cranked up in terms of technology. And I'm really thankful that Shirley's here helping me with this upcoming show because I think I'd be a little slow working it all out. I apologize to you guys out there. I'll figure this out at some point. Just let me work with Nick here, and maybe I'll figure out who I'm supposed to be talking to and where the camera.
You're talking to me. You don't have to worry about the
W-
cameras.
What's this one doing?
That one's on me. If you don't, so you seem to want the attention of the audience. That seems to be your natural environment. Shirley's over there. He's kind of more.
I don't mind him. I'm just kind of doing me whatever, whatever, whenever.
Well, you almost need them, specifically for what you guys are doing, because
Can't live with them.
if you're
can't
on
live
stage
without
and
'em.
nobody's out there watching you,
Well, the Something Different show is interesting because I've also had business owners and I have politicians, and then the interview part, and then the display of their talent or their art piece or product becomes sort of like an advertisement for what they do in the upcoming events, and it's like a public service announcement video form. And I guess it would work just in a format like this without an audience. But I like I like a a laugh track is nice when it's a live laugh track.
Mm.
You like having the laughs come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, something different was great for us in that way. I mean, it's a networking opportunity. Just the audience itself had so many cool community members. There was some musicians that we connected with who just, and seemed excited for photography work, which I'm always really excited to do. And just christening yourself with the theater. It's just yeah, it's been great for, and I'm excited to see the video stuff and the promotion that can come out of that too.
And so how did you link up with the show, Shirley? How did you come on the scene?
Well, let's see. Shay asked my partner to do like the lighting and stuff and kind of brought up that the cameras would be like, weren't online yet, but like would be. And I was excited from that there on. Familiar with Shay's, shtick and lifestyle and performance. And I was totally excited to, be involved in anything he was doing because it always blows up and is amazing.
And so were
Pretty
you
cool.
performing as a puppeteer before finding Shay?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been involved with something different just in this current iteration, so a few months now. But I've been doing puppets in the community for a few years and video stuff for longer than a few years.
And did you go to school for that? Is that something you just picked up?
I was a film major, so puppeteering is closer to being useful than that.
Well, I mean, you're using it filming for something different.
There
Comes
you
in a little
go.
bit.
Yeah, take that, mom.
Wasn't a waste of a degree.
No, and no. I mean, no. I joke a lot, because film students are the worst. But no, it's been a great skill to have, and I appreciate the connection. It's great to work. You meet really cool people. Everyone's wanting video these days. Everyone likes media.
Well, I mean, the internet is the great equalizer nowadays.
Certainly.
You like playing for the audience, huh?
Are they there? I mean, I don't know what's going on here.
Well,
There's
you
only
seem
four of
you
us.
seem
I mean,
enthralled.
should I be?
Do
I mean, I
you-
can entertain Cam on
I
the
know, but when
side
you're up
here.
on stage and you're
What?
interviewing the person, are you playing to the audience or are you playing to the person when you're in? Because you have to interview for your show.
Yeah, I like stand up and shake people's hands. Like,
That's all you do.
but just, yeah, that's all I do. No, like I break the fourth wall. Like, literally go up to people that are sitting in the audience and be like, "Hi, I'm Shay. What's your name?"
As you're interviewing the person on stage, or
In
between?
Yeah. Well, so the way we made a big reveal for the Whatnots, Cam and Shirley.
It's
in the
very
last
special.
show. Yeah. So I like got up, like poked all the audience, made sure they knew that I was there, and this wasn't like a podcast that they could change the channel. And then I got them all to stand up, turn on their lights on their phones, and shine them at the light booth, like turn 180 degrees, so that we had light on the puppets that were in the light booth, and then the puppet stage that was on stage with Bobby Burns, they like talked to each other, so that the audience had to like turn around, looking to the stage, and then behind them as the scene was going on. Really confusing.
I like that stuff, It's almost like a sporting event where the audience has to mitigate where their attention can go. It's what makes it kind of special. You can't do that in a video.
So how much of your act is audience engagement versus you just doing your thing? Is most of it audience engagement? Because with puppets, I would assume most of it is you. You guys have a script, you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
Audience engagement is just butter on top.
Yeah, it's a happy accident that anyone shows up at all. Yeah, but
for
from
you,
what I've seen.
Sorry, I was thinking about how to like do something fancy for the camera over here. What was the question?
I think that just answered it.
I
think that.
You
What were
clever
we, sorry,
duck.
I was distracted. What were you guys talking about?
I do want to ask, because I read over, what would you call it, your life up until now, the blog post that you wrote.
It was until my mom died. I moved back here in 2017 after being on tour for like 10 years. And I had like some personal things I had to take care of. And it was a good time to like sort of process my life until when my mom died, which was a pivotal moment in my life.
And it was called Tears of a Clown, and was the plan to turn that into a book? Was it more just therapeutic, you writing about your life?
I mean, am I supposed to like, you tell me in the comments, should I read it out loud and just make an audio file? Or should I get like a fancy garage and put like a sheet behind me and like read it on video? Or
We can't get a garage,
how
Shay.
how
Yeah.
I have this garage. I have
Oh,
like I
shit.
we got a lot of garages with
We
sheets.
got garage
Yeah.
money?
Yeah. Got all the sheets.
You guys could start your own podcast.
Sounding like it.
I don't know. Tell us in the comments if that's a good
Don't.
idea.
And so where I was going with that was you got hit by a car when
Yeah.
you were 10.
Shit.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
It explains a lot, doesn't it?
Well, no, I think it could explain your trajectory. I mean, normally when people go through something like that.
That you're trying to have innuendos, huh?
No, I'm
My
being
trajectory when I went through something like that.
I didn't mean it like that, but yes. When you were hit by a car at a young age,
10.
10, and the car was going what, 30?
Yeah. 25, 30, yeah.
Did that change your personality in any way? Did that change you? Because you had to relearn how to talk, right?
Yeah, I mean the story I was in a coma and for hours and then I was in the hospital for 28 days just with physical therapy. And I don't know, my brain was just all mixed up, but my parents were trying to make me talk again and I could make noises and so my dad was like, "Can you say da?" I was like, "Da." "Can you say D?" D. And he said, "Can you say daddy?" I said, "No." And from then on, I could just like speak fluently. It's really weird. But I had it was in like April or something, so I'd missed a bunch of school, and then that summer after I got out, they had to like give me all the remedial. I had to like take the final for first grade and take the final for second grade up to sixth grade. Then I could go get back in my grade again. But I mean, I did it, but I don't know. Maybe there's a educational rounding out by learning everything twice.
Bless you. Did it affect your personality? Do you feel like you're the same person you were before that accident? Because you hear when you have a traumatic brain injury like that, it can kind of alter your personality.
um, I think I was too young to really have much of a personality, but one thing was my mom was a hippie, right? My name's Jay Freedom Helder. My stage name is Shay Free Love, but that's because my middle name is Love. So it's Shay Love Freedom Howler. And my mom was hippie mama, and I had my hair grown out to my shoulders and sort of like gender neutral sort of youth. And they had to cut my hair when I got hit by a car to sew my head back together. And so um, from then on out, I sort of tried to find my identity as, whatever it was, but not being like forced into some sort of what my mom wanted me to be. And I guess, yeah, that was why I went more punk rock instead of hippie, old classical.
That's kind of when you revolted, was after the accident.
I've always been revolting.
Oh, Shay.
Just on fire.
But also on fire. Yeah.
So you caught your face on fire, blowing fire.
Where? Like, you don't even look like you were on fire.
I used to have a bunch of acne scars,
Oh.
but
You got rid of
I
them?
burned them
That is
off.
one way to do it.
So the first time was worse because I caught myself on fire twice. So I like had the it was like shortly after I learned and so I was like 19 or young, you know, and in college at a keg party, we were we were just getting into juggling, me and my pals, and so we had torches and fire poi, and would crash any keg party and do our fire and get free booze, right? Um, but I was like doing my thing. I had the you have a cup of fuel that you get the fuel in your mouth from. I sat down on the ground, and I was like, depending on how hard you breathe the mist, you can sort of see where the mist becomes fire and where that ignition point is. And so, stupidly, on that moment, I was all like, "What happens if I let it get a little closer to my mouth?" And I was making a lot of mistakes, and it caught all the fluid in my mouth on fire, and my face caught up because there's some on my chin still. And then I like rushed to the ground. I had a towel or something, and I was getting my face put out. But that cup that I had set down, I knocked it over, and somehow like got on fire again. And then I still had fuel on my face, so my face caught on fire again. And like my friend had to tackle me and like put me out. No, that was the first time I badly burned my. I mean, doing this stuff, you like injure yourself minorly often, but like that was like 60% of my face bad. And then another time was I went to this band battle at the undisclosed group at undisclosed location, and there's probably like 30,000 people on these lawns watching all the bands, and I like was gonna try and time it at the end of this song, like breathe fire. Then there's like a break, and then like some drum solo thing, and then another break, and then like the very end of the song. But I was like, first break, I catch myself on fire, like I hit the ground and put it out, and then the second break, I like stand up, look, I'm still alive, and like the audience was silent. Great.
Puppeteering is starting to sound like the way to go. A little safer play.
Oh, don't be fooled, Nicholas. It's pretty crazy. We get into some hairy shit, you know. I mean, you don't think I've ever burnt myself on my grandma's hot glue gun? Pretty bad.
Equally traumatizing.
Yeah, I'm getting over it, you know.
Are you doing voices for your puppets?
Yeah, I would do some voices. Where are you going with that?
I was just asking.
I like to perform as Lily. She's like kind of a hippie chick, you know, and she kind of sounds like this, you know, very, not condescending, just wants to be helpful. Maybe you want some vegan food, some options, you know, it's fun.
And so you and Cam, you guys are a duo act on this.
Cam plays this total stoner bear who's kind of an idiot and getting in Lily's way a lot, and so it's kind of fun.
Are you guys writing out your scripts for that? Do you guys just riff when you get out there?
No, neither of us. I think I'm a pretty comfortable improver, actually, but with the puppet, I just kind of freeze up a little. We script pretty heavy, and we rehearse. I mean, we've done shows kind of just like walking to them and figured out things on the way, and those have been great. But yeah, most of the time we're working from a page.
And so when we're talking puppets, what kind of puppets?
We primarily perform like Henson style, where you're flapping the jaw with your thumb. But we've got Cam really prefers a style called bunraku, where Wikipedia is out there. But it's where you have multiple people holding multiple parts. You might have like a head and body in a hand, and kind of performing together has been really fun in that way. And we're trying to sort of integrate maybe some more flow arts into that. Have like juggling. It's like a wizard, so maybe I'll have like some balls. But marionettes too, been fun.
Are marionettes kind of the most common one that people think of when they hear puppets? That's what I thought of.
Oh, really? I feel like Henson's style is really taken over the flappy. Everyone talks about a sock, but I love marionettes. They are a pain to work with. All the strings. I've started just putting like eye hooks on things and then just putting fish hooks into that, so you can take the strings on and off and untangle and retangle them, because it was just trying to like build something where it was knotted was just too
a lot of work,
too hard for me. Yeah.
Are you guys making your own puppets?
We like to, and we definitely have plans to, bring in some characters that we've made. But right now, we perform as things. Cam made one of them and helped make the other, I think. So, but part of our program. I think they're from the show Avenue Q, although I don't like to say that.
And did was both of you were into puppets before you met each other?
Yeah,
Is that how you guys found each other, was through the puppet community?
just the theater in general. I actually, when I was a film student, I needed some circus folk for a film, and Cam was a point person for that. And that was through the circus club that like Shay started, and so that's kind of how I met Shay. And again, it gets very incestuous very quickly.
That's the circus club at HSU you started.
The Humboldt Circus, yes.
Is that still going on?
Yeah, 23 years.
Wow, congratulations.
I think there's a show date, April 20th. We just confirmed, so be looking for your
Be on the lookout for
handbills.
that.
Yeah.
And did you start that out of a necessity because there wasn't an avenue when you were going to HSU, or just a
Yeah.
desire to build a community around it?
Um, well, I didn't have like the best GPA getting out of high school. I tried to apply to some fine arts colleges, like auditioning as like a actor, monologues and stuff. And I applied to Del Arte International, and them and Cal Arts and whatever prestigious place turned me other prestigious place turned me down. I didn't get into any of them, but I did get into Humboldt State, which was right next to Del Arte. I figured there'd be some sort of training program or something, leading me up to go to Del Arte afterwards. But there wasn't. There's just this one class taught by Jill Houston called Action, Theater, Movement, and Mime. And I took that class like 6 times, and every class that teacher, Jill, would teach, and it just, took it from there. I dropped out because, no one ever asked me for a resume when I can juggle on a double-decker rollabola. They don't really ask where I learned or what my,
Credentials
degree
are.
is. Yeah,
Well, it doesn't seem as important if you can actually perform. That seems like that would be the more critical part.
right.
And so you dropped out to go overseas. Is that when you went to Singapore and started performing?
Yeah, I got my big break in Singapore, and it was in December of 2016. I had gone to Guatemala earlier in the year with Clowns Without Borders. I wanted to just keep traveling. So I responded to like an email and found this agent in Singapore. I was doing like 30 shows, 2 or 3 shows a day, corporate shows, birthday parties, community events, getting paid really good money. But my mom passed away the day after Christmas on December 27th. Um, and I had to give up a bunch of gigs and then came back right away. But yeah, she was alive during my first big break and my first humanitarian traveling group. But then after that, I was just kept doing that instead of going back to school.
And decided to stay over here instead of going back.
No, no, I went to Singapore. I got invited to Hong Kong like 6 months after.
Oh, after your mom passed, you went back out.
Yeah, I did like 3 more tours of Singapore. I brought 8 people to Hong Kong, started the Free Love Circus. Uh, I started touring I did the corporate shows in Hong Kong, and then I got Clowns Without Borders gigs in Kenya twice. And then I booked my own sort of madcap tour across Europe, from France to Hungary and back. And then I went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival 3 times, and then I decided to move back here.
Is the
And
market better overseas? Is that kind of where you want to be if you're going to be performing?
then Arcata,
Well, then anywhere in the States.
Eureka. I think that the Arcata, Eureka, McKinleyville, Blue Lake metropolitan area does not have much to offer in terms of audiences. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe this is the way to do it because there's only 3 people listening to me. Where is everybody?
And I know you.
Yeah, you're kinda here just by proxy. You're like,
I was
I
the
guess I'll come."
ride.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I'll come on.
No, yeah. Is that the case though? Like more gigs overseas, not as many in the States, or just not as many in this part of the States?
Well, you gotta start somewhere and get your foot in the door. I
Mm.
learned doing street shows at the Arcata Farmers Market and just did little shows after the band was done for years and years and years. And that's where I learned, and that's where I got the video to send to the guy in Singapore to get that gig.
Mm.
But you gotta make up gigs and do it how you can. And uh I I like responding to podcasts. If anyone else, any viewers out there have another way to help me find ridiculous audiences like you guys supposedly, then it's you can email me at freelovecircus@yahoo.com and uh, find me on Facebook under Shay Free Love. I do talking to cameras and pretending like it's an animate object. Hopefully there's someone back there listening. I'm not sure, but I have ideas and try and put them in on stage and engage with them, and the Something Different show is sort of one of the most creative ones I've found. I feel like it's a device to help the community. It's also a way for I let the guests do most of the work, and it's a lot, and it's cool to see the talent out there that is and even politicians are and business owners. People have something special to share, and even if it's just to a camera, then that's great and all. But like in front of a live audience, if you can be, you get good at stuff, or and if you can show it off and get appreciation, even if it's just from a camera or maybe comments. If you guys want to comment or press the like button, then it makes you feel like what you've done and your sort of experience and education and means something, and that you're not just talking to no one or just an empty camera that maybe or maybe not is playing for anyone or someone. But also performing for small audiences, whatever audience it is, if you're able to, give a piece of your heart to a room of three people and they're the only ones that hear, then that's good too. But it's cooler when there's an outlet or some way to like reach more people.
That audience out there in front of you.
And yeah, it's been really interesting. I've always known you through like as a circus person. We've bonded over our love of that, and it's been really interesting seeing you as this like kind of talk show host on Something Different. I just feel like it's really grounded, you connecting with people, which again probably the working of the audience, but maybe the guests are a little audiency there. I don't know what it all means, Shay. But yeah, it is a special different show for you, I think.
Well, it'll be interesting to see where you guys take that now that that COVID's over and you guys are back up and hitting the ground running.
Well, there's a lot of elements to this show, and it'd be really nice to hear from the other hardworking, integral parts of the show, Cam and Sean. Sean Powers, I've worked with, I've traveled all over the place with. I've been working with him for 20 years or so, and we have really good material with each other as hosts. And then I've also worked with Camille for a long time, and they do a wonderful job with the tech. And so hopefully we can bring them back next month and we can publicize the April Something Different show, because that'll be something different.
Is Sean the co-host?
Yeah, he's Bobby Burns, and
Bobby
and
Brand.
he actually operates another kind of puppet that we
Right.
didn't talk about, and
Sean's a legend. Yeah.
that's called a vent puppet. Is made popular by Edgar Bergen, who had a puppet by the name of Charlie McCarthy. And you can use one hand, and it's sort of like a knob with like a roll dial that you can go like this, and then like another thing that you can go up and down with. Like you're holding a stick and you use your thumb mostly. And you can make the eyes look back and forth, make the eyes open and close, make the mouth open and close, and then you sort of go like this. And then you can also use your other hand to be the puppet's hand. And so that's called a vent puppet when you have all those articulations head. And so Bobby Burns is a vent puppet, and Sean Powers, That's his puppet. He's got a whole story about it, and hopefully, our gracious host from today will, tell us on air that he'll bring him up next month.
Yeah, we'll definitely think about it, kick it around.
Sean's a legend. He does a lot of shadow
Sean Powers.
Yeah, he does shadow puppetry in the area too. So if you've seen any shadow puppetry, very likely connected with him or groups inspired by. I just feel like he's really seeded that in this community. Really cool stuff. And he's performed as a puppeteer for like decades, if I recall. Cam, is that what I?
He's been in the game for a while.
Yeah, he's a Sacramento dude, and just taking it everywhere. And then again, stymied by COVID, but he was doing the school shows and just this whole just arena of performance that I didn't know existed. We always kind of thought we'd be doing puppeting out of a shoebox, and finding mature people that have like made a lifestyle out of it. Sean's a cool guy.
Just to holler out to all those people from Sacramento out there. What?
209 Lodi. It's kind of by that.
And Cam's also from Sacramento, so we got some Sacramento vibes
Lot of
going on
blood.
here.
Where you coming from, Nick?
I'm from here.
Oh,
Born and
sweet.
raised, yeah.
Oh, it's a great place.
Who let you get away with it?
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate the pass. Shay, Shirley, I appreciate you guys coming on and talking about
So
the show, man.
when is this going to be on air?
It's out right now.
What do you mean?
It's all out.
Where?
Everywhere. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Shit, I've been listening to it on my
Facebook.
phone this whole time.
What?
Yeah, it's out there. Do you guys want to plug again where people can find you, where they can find the show next month, all your stuff?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so the Whatnots, do you guys have any upcoming?
Yeah, we go as Whatnot Productions on Facebook and YouTube, and we have a lot of great videos up. Again, the animations and starting to get into some music. So follow us for that and shows. I think you're the next thing we're doing, Shay. Something different is probably. What's the date on that?
That is on February 22nd at the Exit Theater in Arcata. It's 890 G Street. And it's upstairs above the mattress store, and it will be starting at 7 o'clock. We've got guest stars. We've got AOK the Clown. We've got Rachel Sanders, the belly dancer. We've got Orion Peterson Jones helping us with music, and it's going to be a wonderful show. There's more. Who is it? Who are we missing?
Oh, that's everyone I recall. I'm just excited about AOK. Every time you bring it up again, I'm like, oh my God, he's just been in the background of the community for a minute.
So the final person is our politician, Paul Patino, and so
cool.
We're gonna make him like dance or
Do
go off
something.
his hat or do something different than just talk about politics. But he's a politician.
Okay, well, that should be
Yeah.
exciting.
So 7
Play.
o'clock, February 22nd, the Exit Theater, and yeah, I've had a great time being on this podcast. Hope you guys have too, and I'll figure this out someday. Growing pains, right?
Growing pains.
He
All
won't.
right. Thanks, guys.